And good morning. Here we are again. It's Friday. And I'm finally putting out the review that I've talked about numerous times. After all the excitement of the last weekend. Shut up, squeaky chair. After all the excitement of last weekend, it's taken a bit of time, shall I say. Oh, Invader Coffee. If you like coffee as much as I do, link in the description. They don't pay me. It's just amazing. So, a little bit of housekeeping. First off, Squeaky Chair and I are glad to have you here. I was going to show you this. You see this big stack of letters? Yeah. Attorneys that have looked at the fact that I was in a wreck in public record and felt the need to send me letters to say, hey, we'll sue that other person into oblivion. Won't cost you a dime. Sure. Whatever. Whatever you say, ambulance chasers. So, where were we? Oh, yes. Today, we're going to discuss 2 of the 3 parts of the Dabangg trilogy. Now look, some of you may or may not have heard of Bollywood, and that is Indian movies. That are, in general, the main quality, if not better, of some Hollywood movies. And they don't want to be confused with Hollywood, I guess. Who knows? But that's what they're called. Feature films, usually a bit longer than, from what I've seen, than Hollywood movies, and definitely just as good, if not better, quality in some of the bigger movies that they've put out that I've seen. Now, from what I can tell, about 80% of them are romantic comedies generally, or just romance in general, and we're not going to talk about those. I have no interest. I accidentally stumbled onto a Bollywood action movie that I've talked about before. And that led me down a path to find Dabangg, and to find that there's 3 of them. And I'm a sucker for trilogies. Good ones. Not crappy mouse ones. Anyway, so first thing of note, if you watch these movies, they're not going to be in English. You're going to have to do a little work and read what they say. It wasn't difficult. I didn't find it distracting. Still perfectly easy to follow along. And hey, if you're having trouble, you may have to watch it twice to get everything, and that's just more fun. I've also heard some people say they don't watch Bollywood movies because they disagree with the morals coming from that part of the world. Okay, well, I think that's wrong. Whether I agree or disagree with the moral standing of a part of the planet, to me that's the same thing as saying, hey, classic movies from 100 years ago or 80 years ago need to be held to the Twitter moral high ground that we have in 2021. And that's insane. But you do you. If you don't want to watch these movies, great. If you do watch them, you're in for a treat. It's a well-written story. It's a fun time. It's an amazing watch. Now, fair warning, there are times out of nowhere that they go into a musical dance number. It may be before, after, or in the middle of an action scene. Don't know. It's unexpected, and it can be a bit jarring if you've never seen this before. However, the storyline of these two movies are fantastic. The story is about two stepbrothers, and the relationship they have. One of them has with their stepfather and their stepbrother, and the struggle in that family when one feels he's not good enough and the other one's definitely not good enough. So the one becomes a police officer, and they call him Robin Hood because he will take money from a crime and put it to good use. Sometimes that good use is his pocket. He's not a cut and dried good guy. So the action the action is insane. It's kind of like Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee on an absurd level. There's you got to see it to believe it. And the big opening of the first movie is a really nice action scene. So that's that. The second movie is a continuation of the family dynamic, only it's been repaired. No spoilers there. The family dynamic is just a side note of the story. The actual movies are about the cop, and I found it intriguing in the second movie that there's stakes involved. I mean, there's stakes in the first one as well, and I'm not talking about the kind you eat. I'm talking about they have something to lose. All the characters have something to lose as the movie progresses. And you're not sure if everybody's going to come out on the other side alive. Something's sorely missing in American cinema now. I use cinema loosely. Marvel. So, there's a part in a dance number that just cracked me up. The main character is like a superhero. He really is, with powers, weird powers. In the first movie, in one of the dance numbers, he has his fingers, his thumbs in his belt, one on each side, and he moves them up and down. As he's dancing, the belt, he moves the belt up and down. I know, right? It sounds weird, makes no sense. You'll see. And in the second movie, he's gotten so powerful, he just throws his hands out, and the belt does it himself. The belt's moving. Oops, the belt's moving up and down. So it's just absurdly funny, and makes no sense really, but I dig it. I am not sorry I watched these movies, and you won't be either if you take the time to watch them. You can find them on Amazon with a channel that Amazon has on there. That you 7-day free trial, so you could watch all three of them. Obviously, I haven't gotten to the third one yet, but I'm not expecting it to be any different as far as a good watch. But I will let you know next week, because I am watching it this weekend. So, very excited about that. I'm ready to have a good weekend. This last week's been rough, as you know, but me and Squeaky Chair are doing great. as you can see in the thumbnail, we've been doing some practice dancing together as a team. It's great. So there you go. That's all I got for you. I hope you at least give the movies a chance. You know, watch the first one. You'll either like it or you won't. But if you turn it on and you get 5 minutes into it and then you turn it off because you're like, no, this isn't for me, well, you didn't give it a chance. You're missing out. So anyway, there you go. I love you guys. Miss you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you next week. Say bye, Squeaky Chair.